Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today, I want to talk about tag team Pokemon. You see, for us, tag team Pokemon have been gone for a little while. Not only have tag team Pokemon been gone for a little while, in terms of not being printed, they've even rotated out. Like, the last tag team Pokemon were printed back in Cosmic Eclipse, the very last of the Sun and Moon sets. We had ones like Venusaur and Snivy. They were the last ones we saw, and of course, they have been rotated out for a while. You know, think about Arceus and Alga and Palkia, which arguably would be a more relevant example from Cosmic Eclipse, but I made my choice and I stand by it. That never had a World Championships. Because we had those couple of years where it was cancelled because of the whole damn Pennick thing, we never actually had a World Championships with ADP. Well, they're back. But not here. Obviously not here. They're obviously not back here. They're back on mainland China in simplified Chinese. You see, on this channel over the past few weeks, one of the stories we've been following with rather a lot of, interest is probably the right word, is the emergence of the Pokemon TCG in mainland China. That is to say, in simplified Chinese. Remember, we got traditional Chinese, which is Hong Kong and Taiwan. They've been doing the whole Pokemon TCG thing for a while. But then we've got simplified Chinese on mainland China, and that is new here. This is the first time that it's actually coming out. And what it's brought with us is some really, really cool new artwork for some of these tag team Pokemon, because they've got a new set which is coming out, and it's bringing the tag teams in. And I want to start off with just look at Slowpoke and Psyduck. Look at Slowpoke and Psyduck. And I know it's CG art and all of that, blah, blah, blah. This is wonderful. I want a big picture of this on my wall. Like, legit, if somebody could just give me a big picture of this booster pack artwork, I'm going to be moving out of my current studio into a new studio because my son needs a bedroom. So I'm moving out so my son can have a bedroom into a new studio. And when I do, I'm going to cover the walls in cool Pokemon stuff. This is the kind of thing I want on the wall. But this is artwork that didn't exist. And this is one of the coolest things about following the Pokemon TCG as it's coming over in China. No, they're not getting any new cards. I'm not aware, at least, of any new cards that have come out in simplified Chinese that we haven't had over here. As far as I'm aware, every single card they've had is a card that we've had. That's fine. What is awesome is that stuff like this is happening. And sure, yeah, it's just a new booster pack artwork, blah. No, it's cool. It is an existing tag team that we've had for a while, that we've seen before, that we now get to see in a new way that we've never seen before, and that is awesome. If anybody's wondering, the artwork on the card itself, it is just Mitsuhiro Arita artwork. It is the same artwork that we have had on this card since the beginning. It's Arita. And Arita, remember, did all of these standard artworks here. But now we just get to see this new version on the booster pack, and I absolutely love it. It's not the only one, of course. We've also seen this wonderful artwork of Eevee and Snorlax. Now, one of the really, really cool things about this, and I'm going to be annoyed in a minute because I'm going to have to try and find the image, and that's going to be a real pain. This is a card, I don't know if anybody but me remembers, that was initially revealed on the side of a van. They literally had a van driving around Japan with an image of this card on before the card had been revealed, and somebody snapped a picture of it in a car park, and that's how we first saw this card. It's one of maybe my favorite card reveal ever. It was absolutely ridiculous, and I absolutely love it. But now we got this new booster pack artwork featuring the same Pokemon, and again, the card itself has the lovely Arita artwork as one would expect. But now what we've got is this lovely new artwork with Snorlax kind of doing his thing, running, eyes closed, as we expect Snorlax to be, and then Eevee looking kind of defiant. A lot of not all of them, but a lot of the tag teams did have kind of the big Pokemon, little Pokemon dynamic, and I love this. This makes me very happy indeed. And then the third and final one, we had Gengar and Mimikyu. And again, we've got lovely new booster pack artwork here, but then the standard Mitsuhiro Arita artwork on the card itself. But this then does raise a few really interesting questions. Because it's not been very long at all since the Pokemon TCG launched over in China. Now, if we take our timeline for a moment, obviously we started off, let's stick to Sun and Moon because that's where China started at the moment. We started off with Sun and Moon, the base set, which launched on the 3rd of February 2017. We didn't get Tag Team GXs until the start of year 3 of the Sword and Shield TCG with Team Up on February the 1st, 2019, pretty much exactly 2 years later. Remember, the Pokemon TCG works in years. Most blocks, not all, but most blocks have a 3-year run. So, we had year 1 of the Sword and Shield TCG with GXs and all of that. And then Tag Team GXs were the big thing that came around in year 3 of the Sword and Shield TCG. That was the big new thing. It was awesome. It's not been 2 years since the Pokemon TCG launched in mainland China. It most definitely has not been 2 years since it came around. In fact, it came out on the 28th of October. That's when this launched. The 28th of October. When is this set coming out? January. Beginning of January. Wait, no, sorry, middle of January. It comes out on the 18th of January. You can literally see it on this picture here. It's coming out on the 18th of January, which is less than 3 months. It took them less than 3 months to start Tag Team Pokemon, which took us 2 years to get to. This is only actually the second part of the Sun and Moon expansion over on mainland China, and in part 2 they've already made their way to Tag Team Pokemon. They're already into year 3 of the the Sun and Moon, that's the one I'm talking about, the Sun and Moon TCG. I should mention just quickly the way it kind of works over in China is really kind of cool. You'll notice that the Slowpoke and Psyduck pack, you just have water, lightning, and metal Pokemon. So, for instance, Dedenne GX is only in this pack, and Blastoise GX is only in this pack. You've then got the Gengar and Mimikyu, which is Psychic, Fighting, and Grass. So, cards like, for instance, Omastar or Katana are coming here, which is kind of fun. And then the Eevee and Snorlax are Fire, Darkness, and Fairy. So cards like Heatran and Honchkrow can only be found in here. It's kind of cool the way they do that. And it does, these sets are pretty gigantic. So it does make it a little bit easier to try and get the cards you're looking for. Because one of the things that is worth pointing out, these sets are kind of gigantic. Now, if you look at the 3 booster packs, you'll notice they are 2A, 2B, and 2C. And you don't need to be able to read the Chinese characters to have a little bit of a look here and see that between those 3 sets, there are 95 super rares and 25 ultra rares in essentially one set. You think our sets are bad, ladies and gentlemen? You think our sets are bad? 95 secret rares and 25 ultra rares. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is an awful lot. And there is a very serious question here to ask about the fact, is China going too fast? Are the players able to keep up? And the answer is twofold. Number 1, probably. And number 2, who cares? And I don't mean that flippantly, and I don't mean that in a mean way. Obviously, the players care. What I mean is, what would you rather have? Because at the moment, China are far behind us. Remember, we've just finished up, or I suppose with Crown Zenith, we are finishing up year 3 of the Sword and Shield TCG, and we are heading into year 1 of Scarlet and Violet. In China, even with this set as fast as they've gone up till now, they're still basically playing around in Sun and Moon. They've not even started Sword and Shield, let alone heading into Scarlet and Violet like us. And one of two things basically has to happen here. Either we're going to see China just taking a very, very long time to catch up, and their players are going to be playing old formats for years, which isn't fun and nobody really wants to do, or they're going to catch up super duper quickly. Is it going to be messy while they catch up? Oh, you better believe it is going to be messy while they catch up. Because this is going to keep happening. They're going to do a few more giant sets with not that much gap between them until they catch up, and then they're going to slow down. And you'll notice in Hong Kong and Taiwan at the moment, they are just following us. They're basically having the same sets as Japan. It's lovely. Here's an advert for Incandescent Arcana in Taiwan. Here's an advert for V-Star Universe in Taiwan. They've literally got the same sets as Japan. Slightly later, admittedly, but literally same set, same makeup. It is the same thing. They are getting the Japanese sets. But the reason why Hong Kong and Taiwan can get the Japanese sets is because they ran. And incidentally, what's happening in mainland China at the moment happened in Hong Kong and Taiwan to catch up. And it kind of sucked for them then. But now they're getting the same sets as Japan. And they're getting the same formats as Japan. And it's all working quite nicely. I would argue, and I'm not a player in either Hong Kong or Taiwan or mainland China, so my opinion does not count anywhere near as much as the players that are. But I would be fine with this. It would be rubbish. Building a collection would be horrendous, and building a deck would leave you at the mercy of the secondary market and all the prices going crazy, etc. But the fact of the matter is, they are going to catch up nice and quickly, and when they do, they're going to go to almost certainly the exact same sets as Japan. Things are going to calm down, and it's going to be nice being on the same level as them. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this lovely new artwork that we got to have a look at today. I want to know what you think about the fact that China is rushing to catch up, whether you would be happy with that or not. And if you're in China, please, please, please tell me if you like it or not, because I would very much love to hear from anyone in China that's doing this at the moment. For now, let me know what you think. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel. You can get some bonus podcasts where I answer all of your questions. You can join a Discord where we chat about, well, lots of fun things. And you can get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Joseph Forget, who's been one of our supporters for a few months now and seems to be a very lovely person. So thank you very much for all the support and for being a very lovely person. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross and you've been watching PTCG Radio.